Make some noise. Adidi.
This in itself is an adventure for me, I suppose, standing up here. But I'm inspired by the two stories, particularly Akona's story, because it makes me realize we all live in two worlds. And my adventure is in two worlds. So I'm a traveler. I love to travel the continent. And my two worlds exist on the continent. I actually feel more free when I'm outside of the borders of South Africa, because I was in Zanzibar and I was living on some island, and I got up in the morning and I wanted to go to Stone Town, and it's about an hour from where I was staying. And I walked to the main road to get a taxi. And I met a guy who was riding a bike, who was actually going to where I was staying. And he was like, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "I'm going to just kind of get a taxi." And he's like, "No, I'll put you on my bike and I will take you to the main taxi rank." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool. I'll get onto your bike." I got onto this guy's bike and he's like, "Before we get to where you're going, I have builders where I stay. I just need to go check if they're dropping the sand." I'm like, "Okay, let's go." So I go with him, he checks on his builders, and then he drops me off at the main taxi rank. When I get there, lo and behold, it's a flatbed and it's got seats. It's not a taxi, like a proper taxi. So what do? I jump on. But this is what I find interesting. In that taxi, the men get off to allow the women and children to sit. And that was happening throughout the whole way. The men were like latching, bas gova, like goving that thing and just allowing women and children to sit until we got to Stone Town. When I got to Stone Town, I was just walking around aimlessly, and I met another guy, and he's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I don't know." And he's like, "Okay, I'm a tour guide. You buy me lunch, you pay all my entrances, and I'll just basically show you around." And I was like, "Okay, cool, we'll do that." We got on a boat, we went to some island, we saw big turtles, we did a whole lot of stuff. And then we came back. He put me on a taxi, a proper taxi this time. And I thought it was going the direction I needed to go, right? Only to find out it was going the opposite direction. So I was on the opposite side of the island. When I got there, I'm like, "Where am I supposed to be?" And this old man said to me, "Don't worry." And I was like, "Okay." And then he's like, "Come with me." I go with him. So he gets into this shop, like a small shop in a village. He gets in there and then he opens, and then he comes out with a bike. I'm like, "Okay, a bike inside the shop?" He's like, "Come with me." I'm like, "Okay." I just walk like next to this man. We go next door. He fills in petrol into the bike. And then he tells these guys, "This one, Mzungu wa Msauri." Like this is a coconut, like a black white person. I'm like, "Why are you talking like that about me? I'm not a Mzungu. So anyway, he pours the petrol, I pay him, I get onto the bike. Now this guy is taking me back to where I stay, because he knows where I stay. We're there on the bike, right? We're going. Almost 5 minutes before we get there, I'm like, what did I just do? I don't know this man. I'm on his bike. I trust that he's taking me to where I live on a lonely road. But anyway, I'll get there. So he dropped me off. I got to where I was staying, and I was safe. And I realized that in my own country, I'll never be able to do that. So that's one of my stories of living in two worlds. Another one, I did the same thing. I went to Ghana, I got in a taxi to go to Togo, which is the next country. The minute I got off a taxi, a guy came with a bike and he said, "You're going to Lome?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Get onto my bike." we were driving around. I'm like, dude, where are you taking me? Take me to the border. He's like, just wait. I'm like, okay. And then I'm sitting there. He's like, just wait. Then we turn around, and then some military people come. Where are you going? Where are you from? I'm like, South Africa. You must not be here. What are you doing here? I'm like, okay, all right. Then the guy's like, shh. Attended. I go with him. We get onto the bike. Next thing, he's exchanging money. Next thing, a piece of a fence is being opened, and we're going through the border, like going through the fence into Togo. Right? I get there. He's like, me, I don't speak good English, but my friend speak good English. I call him ne. I'm like, okay. Calls this friend of his. He's got dreadlocks. Like, you like Rasta man, eh? I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, his friend comes. Introduces me to him. He becomes my tour guide for the day. I have a whole lot of fun. I go to the Vuli market. I see lots of dead animals, freaky stuff. I come back. I call my driver, the one who put me through the fence. I'm done now. He's like, okay. We get onto the bike, we go to the fence, we wait, we watch the fence open. We cross the border. Get into a taxi. On the way, the Ghanaian military stop us. Ma'am, where were you for the day? I'm like, no, I was just here in Aflau. They're like, show me your passport. I'm like, you see, no stamp on passport, no stamp, me. I didn't go to Togo, but I actually did go to Togo. So that's my story.